Call this meeting to order. At this time, if you would, please stand as Pastor Reno comes up and leads us in an invocation, and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by Council Member Morrow.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Jeremiah said in Jeremiah chapter 26, in speaking the king and to those whom were in authority, he says, "Thus says the Lord, stand in the court of the Lord's house and speak to all the cities of Judah who come to worship the Lord, and the words which I have commanded you to speak to them. Do not omit a word. Perhaps they will listen, and everyone will turn from evil, that I may repent of calamity, which I am planning to do because of evil deeds." And Jeremiah goes and speaks the word of the Lord. Father, I pray in the name of Jesus, I read a passage like that, and Lord, I thank you that you are aware of everything that happens, God, in every city and every government. Lord, your word makes it real clear, God, that you're sovereign and that you are king over all. But God, even when we see in that passage a wicked nation, is that, Lord, even then you were giving grace, God, to people who would hear you, and they would follow, and that, Lord, you would lead them. And God, I thank you for the city of Benton. I thank you, God, for, Lord, just the mayor. I thank you, God, for each and every one of these council members who are here. And God, who serve, and many of them whom I know, Lord, are godly men and women. And Lord, they desire to hear you. And so, God, we are blessed in so many ways here. But Lord, at the same time, God, we just desperately need to hear from you. And so, Lord, we pray for wisdom, God, for our city. God, we pray, Lord, not just for practical wisdom and practical matters. Thank you that you see all those. But Lord, I sincerely pray, Lord Jesus, God, for wisdom, Lord, from your heart. God, I pray for the city of Benton, for Central Arkansas, for Saline County. Lord, unless you guard the city, the watchman keeps awake in vain. Unless you, Father, build the house, they labor in vain who build it. So, Lord, we just ask you in the name of Jesus, God, that you would build this city. And God, we pray, Lord, that by spiritual prosperity, God, we believe, Lord Jesus, for practical prosperity. God, we believe for jobs. We believe for economic growth. God, we believe for blessing, Lord Jesus. And so, God, we just pray in the name of Jesus, God, for your Holy Spirit, God, to lead these, God, who are serving. Thank you for them, Lord Jesus. May your good hand of the Lord be upon them and upon this city. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all for that. All right. Mr. Esner, would you take roll call, please?
Frank Baptist.
Present.
Carrie Murphy.
Here.
Jocelyn Cash.
Here.
Evelyn Reed.
Here.
Bill Donner.
Here.
Jeff Morrow.
Here.
Judd Hart.
Here.
James Hertzfield.
Here.
Steve Lee.
Here.
Jeff Ham.
Here.
Be 10 present.
10 present. Thank you all for being here. All right, you have the minutes before you. Do I have a motion for the minutes?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of May the 20th, 2019 regular meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, at this time, Mr. Esner, would you do us the privilege of reading the proclamation for the Quilt of Valor? And I'll just say this before we do it. I had the privilege of reading this yesterday to the men that were honored there and that served, and each one of them did get a quilt. They are not here with us tonight, but go ahead.
Whereas valor and courage of people in the armed services are a shining example to all the world, and we owe them and their families our deepest respect. Whereas even against the greatest odds, there can be valor in the human spirit that can lift men from certain defeat to incredible victory. Whereas there is no given right to victory, it is won through the skill, devotion, and valor. Whereas Americans, men and women in uniform, bravely defend our nation and our values. Whereas their skill, dedication, and valor are the envy of the world. When their time in uniform is over, they are entitled to be recognized for their willingness to lay down their lives for freedom. Whereas Johnson's Home Center Quilt of Valor Group, the Saline County Quilt Guild, Joyce Brittenberg, and Chris Bolton have donated their time and materials to make quilts of valor. And whereas they would like to award Quilts of Valor to Bobby Lee Cassidy, Stanley Garver, Gary Honeycutt, Bill LaRue, Terry Nichols, and author Frank Myers, George Morgan, Albert Ray, Mickey Schaefer, Roy Sundman, and Alan Weaver, to thank them for their service, sacrifice, and valor. Now therefore, Tom Farmer, acting on his authority as mayor of the city of Benton, Arkansas, does hereby proclaim Sunday, June the 23rd, 2019, as a special day to show appreciation for our military and encourage the citizens of Benton to recognize their valor and sacrifice by serving them as well as they served us.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll move right into the committee reports and motions. We'll start with the Finance Committee. Councilmember Cash.
Thank you. I make a motion to adopt resolution number 47 of 2019.
48. 48.
48.
Thank you.
All right. We have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 48 of 2019. Please read the resolution.
Resolution 48 of 2019, resolution declaring certain property as surplus and authorizing the exchange of property for their replacements. Whereas the city owns certain firearms which were used by the police department which are no longer useful to the city, and whereas the city council desires to declare this property as surplus and to authorize the police chief to exchange these firearms as part of an agreement to replace them with a licensed dealer. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1. The firearms included within Exhibit 1 of this resolution are hereby declared as surplus property. The police chief is hereby authorized to exchange the firearms listed in Exhibit 1 with a licensed dealer in order to obtain replacement firearms for the department.
All right, do we have any comments about this from the public? All right. Comments from the council? All right, please take a vote.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hertzfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
All right, resolution number 48, 2019 has duly passed. Councilmember Cash, you have anything else?
Yes. Make a motion to have the first reading of ordinance number 39 of 2019.
All right, we have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 39 of 2019.
Ordinance number 39 of 2019, ordinance amending the 2019 budget for the general funds, adopting ordinance 1 of 2019, authorizing the payment of professional services, declaring emergency, and for other purposes. Whereas the City Council adopted the 2019 general fund budget, ordinance 1 of 2019, and whereas the City Council needs to amend the 2019 general fund budget to appropriate funds for the payment of certain professional services needed for an evaluation of the effect of Act 660 of 2019 on the city as set forth in Exhibit 1 to this ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1. Pursuant to the authority granted in ACA Section 1458-202 and 1458-203, the City Council does hereby amend the fiscal year 2019 City of Benton budget as adopted in Ordinance 1 of 2019. Revised expenditures for the operations of the city are attached here to as Exhibit 1 to this ordinance and more fully described therein. The adoption of this amendment shall be deemed as appropriation pursuant to the foregoing statutes as well as any of the applicable ordinance of the city. Section 2 is hereby found and determined there is immediate need to amend the budget to appropriate funds as set forth herein. Therefore, emergency exists, and this ordinance is necessary for the preservation of the public peace, health, and safety. It shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval.
All right, do we have any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Councilmember Cash?
Yes. I make a motion to suspend the rules for the second and third reading of ordinance number 39 of 2019.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and have a first reading. Please take a vote.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hertzfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
All right, Councilmember Cash, you have any additional motion?
Yes. I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 39 of 2019 on its second and third reading by title only. Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 39 of 2019 after the reading of title only.
Ordinance number 39 of 2019, ordinance amending the 2019 budget for the general fund is adopting ordinance 1 of 2019, authorizing the payment of professional services, declaring emergency, and for other purposes.
All right, have any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hertzfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Pass.
Huh?
You passed?
Yes.
All right. Ordinance,
Make a motion
We-
to pass
emergen-
the
emergency clause.
Second.
all right, we have a motion and a second to pass the emergency clause.
James Hurtsfield,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Kerry Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 39 of 2019 have duly passed. Councilmember Cash, do you have anything else?
Yes, I make a motion to have the first reading of ordinance number 41 of 2019. Did I skip one?
Second.
Wait.
All right, Ordinance 40.
Hold on, I skipped one.
Ordinance 40.
Ordinance number 40 of 2019.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to have the first reading of ordinance number 40 of 2019.
Ordinance number 40 of 2019, ordinance amending the 2019 budget for the general funds, adopting ordinance 1 of 2019, authorizing the purchase of a dump truck equipment for the street department, declaring emergency and for their purposes. Whereas the city council adopted the 2019 general fund budget in ordinance 1 of 2019, whereas the city council needs to amend the 2019 general fund budget to appropriate funds for the purchase of a dump truck equipment for the street department set forth in Exhibit 1 to this ordinance, now therefore be it ordained by the city council of the city of Benton, Arkansas. Section 1, pursuant to the authority granted ACA Section 1458-202 and 1458-203, city council does hereby amend the fiscal year 2019 city of Benton budget as adopted in ordinance 1 of 2019. The revised expenditures for the operations of the city are attached hereto as Exhibit 1 to this ordinance and more fully described therein. The adoption of this amendment shall be deemed as appropriation pursuant to the foregoing statutes as well as any other applicable ordinance of the city. Section 2 is hereby found and determined there is an immediate need to amend the budget to appropriate funds as set forth herein, therefore emergency exists, and this ordinance is necessary for the preservation of the public peace, health, and safety. It shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval.
All right, do we have any comments from the public? Any comments from the council? Thought he was making a comment. I did too.
I make a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 40 of 2019.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to suspend. Please take a vote.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsville.
Yeah.
All right, Councilmember Cash.
Yes, I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 40 of 2019 with the readings by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 40 of 2019 by the reading with title only.
Ordinance number 40 of 2019, ordinance amending the 2019 budget for the general funds, adopting ordinance 1 of 2019, authorizing the purchase of a dump truck equipment for the street department, declaring emergency and for other purposes.
All right, any comments from the public, from the council? Please take a vote.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsville.
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
All right, do you have anything further?
I make a motion to pass the emergency clause.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass the emergency clause. Please take a vote.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsville.
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
All right, motion 40 of 2019 is duly passed. Councilmember Cash.
Yes, I make a motion to have the first reading of ordinance number 41 of 2019.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 41 of 2019.
Ordinance number 41 of 2019, ordinance levying a tax on all real and personal property in the city of Benton, Arkansas for city general and for fireman's pension and relief fund, declaring emergency and other matters pertaining thereto. Whereas under the laws of the state of Arkansas, the city council of any municipality may on or before the time fixed by law for levying county taxes, levy certain taxes on both the real and personal property assessed that is within the city of Benton. And whereas the amount of the levy shall be certified and placed and extended upon the tax books by the county clerk and shall be collected in the same manner that the state and county taxes are collected by the tax collector. Now therefore be it ordained by the city council of the city of Benton, Arkansas. Section 1. Turn it. there's a typo. The city council hereby authorizes and levies the following taxes on all real and personal property which has been assessed within the city of Benton, Arkansas. 1, city general purposes, 2.8 mils on the dollar on real property and personal property. 2, Fireman's Pension and Relief Fund, 1 mil on the dollar on real property and personal property. Section 2, this ordinance being necessary for the preservation of the peace, health, and safety of the citizens of the city of Benton, Arkansas, due to the need for funding to provide necessary services to the public, therefore emergency is hereby declared to exist. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council?
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Please take a vote.
Kerry Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Jed Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsfield.
Yes.
Steve Lee.
I need to recuse myself from voting on any
Yes, sir.
of this ordinance.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
All right, Councilmember Cash.
Yes, I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 41 of 2019, to be read by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 41 of 2019 by the reading of title only.
Ordinance number 41 of 2019, ordinance levying a tax on all real and personal property in the city of Benton, Arkansas for city general and for the Fireman's Pension and Relief Fund, declaring emergency and other matters pertaining thereto.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Jed Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsfield.
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Need to recuse.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
All right, anything further, Councilmember Cash?
I make a motion to pass the emergency clause.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to pass the emergency clause. Let's take a vote.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Jed Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsfield.
Yes.
Steve Lee.
I need to recuse from voting.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 41 of 2019 has duly passed. Anything else, Councilmember Cash?
That is all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Reed, could you give us a report on community service and animal control?
Yes, sir. At this time, make a motion to adopt Resolution 49 of 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 49 of 2019.
Resolution 49 of 2019, a resolution ratifying and confirming the appointment of Carl West as Commissioner to the Benton Planning and Zoning Commission and for other purposes. Whereas the City of Benton created the City of Benton Planning and Zoning Commission by Ordinance 29 of 1964, and whereas the City Council desires to appoint Carl West to the unexpired term of former Commissioner Barry Beard, he will serve the remainder of the term until his expected expiration date of January the 1st, 2020. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1. Carl West is hereby confirmed as a member of the City of Benton Planning and Zoning Commission.
All right, any comments from the public? From the council? Please take a vote.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Jed Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsfield.
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
All right, resolution number 49 of 2019 has duly passed.
Make a motion to adopt.
Excuse me. Carl, would you stand up and let everyone know who we just voted on to be part of the Planning and Zoning Commission, please? Just in case anyone wanted to know. This is Carl West. All right, thank you. Sorry about that. All right, Councilmember Reed, do you have anything else?
Yes, sir. Make a motion to adopt Resolution 50 of 2019.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 50 of 2019.
Read it first. Resolution 50 of 2019, a resolution ratifying and confirming the appointment of Baxter Drennan as Commissioner to the Benton Planning and Zoning Commission and for other purposes. Whereas the City of Benton created the City of Benton Planning and Zoning Commission by Ordinance 29, 1964, and whereas the City Council desires to appoint Baxter Drennan to the unexpired term of former Commissioner Sam Chafin. He will serve the remainder of the term as expected expiration day of January the 1st, 2021. Now therefore be it resolved by City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1, Baxter Drennan is hereby confirmed as a member of the City of Benton Planning and Zoning Commission.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council? All right, please take a vote.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsville?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
All right, resolution number 50 of 2019 has duly passed. Councilmember Reed.
Yes, sir. At this time, make a motion for the first reading of ordinance 42 of 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 42 of 2019.
Ordinance number 42 of 2019, ordinance rezoning certain land in the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Whereas an application for rezoning is filed with the Planning Commission of the city of Benton, Arkansas by Jerry Moat, requested that the land hereinafter described be zoned from R2 to C2, and whereas the Planning Commission ordered a public hearing to be held on June the 11th, 2019 at 6 p.m. for the purpose of hearing said application, the notice of such hearing having been published in a newspaper having a bona fide circulation in Saline County, Arkansas, with evidence having been submitted that all property owners or lessees within 300 feet of the property having been notified of said hearing. At said hearing, the Planning Commission recommends to the City Council that such request be granted. And whereas the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas desires to rezone the following property from R2 to C2, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1. The following described property is hereby rezoned from R2 to C2, and the legal description is attached as Exhibit A, Section 2. The City Council, having found that the immediate rezoning of the property will allow commercial operations to commence thereon, which will be a benefit to the local economy, hereby declares an emergency. This ordinance shall be in full force effect after its passage and approval.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Councilmember Reed.
Make a motion to suspend the rules for the second and third reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules for the second and third reading.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsville?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
All right, Councilmember Reed, do you have any?
Motion to adopt ordinance 42 on the second and third reading by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 42 of 2019 by the reading of the title only.
Ordinance number 42 of 2019, ordinance rezoning certain land in the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
James Hurtsville?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
Motion to adopt the emergency clause.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the emergency clause.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsville?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 42 of 2019 has duly passed. Councilmember Reed, do you have another one?
Yes, sir. Motion to make, for the first reading of ordinance 43 of 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 43 of 2019.
Ordinance number 43 of 2019, an ordinance rezoning certain land in the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Whereas an application of rezoning is filed with the Planning Commission of the city of Benton, Arkansas by the Root of Properties LLC, requesting that the land hereinafter described be zoned from R2 to R7. And whereas the Planning Commission ordered a public hearing to be held on June the 11th, 2019 at 6 p.m. for the purpose of hearing said application, the notice of such hearing having been published in a newspaper having a bona fide circulation in Saline County, Arkansas, with evidence having been submitted that all property owners or leasees within 300 feet of the property have been notified of said hearing. And at said hearing, the planning commission recommended to the city council that such request be granted. And whereas the city council of the city of Benton, Arkansas desires to rezone the following property from R2 to R7, now therefore be it ordained by the city council of the city of Benton, Arkansas, section 1. The following described property is hereby rezoned from R2 to R7, and the legal description is attached as Exhibit A. Section 2, the city council having found that the immediate rezoning of the property will allow construction to commence thereon, which will be of a benefit to the local economy, hereby declares an emergency, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect after its passage and approval.
Okay, any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Councilmember Reed?
Motion to suspend the rules for the second and third reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Take a vote.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsfield.
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Councilmember Reed?
Motion to adopt ordinance 43 on the second and third reading by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 43 of 2019 by the reading of title only.
Ordinance number 43 of 2019, ordinance rezoning certain land in the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas, declaring emergency and for other purposes.
All right, do we have any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsfield. Steve Lee.
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Motion to adopt the emergency clause.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the emergency clause. Please take a vote.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsfield.
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 43 of 2019 have duly passed. Councilmember Reed, do you have anything else?
Yes, sir. I make a motion at this time for the first reading of ordinance 44 of 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 44 of 2019.
Ordinance number 44, 2019. An ordinance annexing certain territory in the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas, declaring emergency and for other purposes. Whereas Havens Development Company LLC filed a petition with the County Court of Saline County, Arkansas, to annex certain contiguous property hereinafter described to the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas. And whereas on January the 6th, 2019, in case number CC 2019-3, Jeff Erie, County Judge, determined that said petition should be granted and that the property hereinafter described should be released from Saline County, annexed to the corporate limits of the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas. And whereas more than 30 days has expired since entry of said order and the city of Benton desires to accept said property into the city. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1, the property hereinafter described be annexed and made part of the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas, and is to be included in Ward 5 and zoned R2 Single Family District Detached Housing is described as follows to wit. And then you'll see the parcel and the legal description there. Section 2, it is hereby found and determined that an immediate passage of this ordinance is necessary for residential development, which will be a benefit, which will benefit the growth of the city and local economy. Therefore, emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Councilman Reed?
Motion to suspend the rules for the second and third reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules for the second and third reading. Please take a vote.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsfield.
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance 44 on the second and third reading by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 44 of 2019, second and third reading by title only.
Ordinance number 44, 2019, ordinance annexing certain territory into the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Do we have any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Motion to approve the emergency clause.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the emergency clause.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Jocelyn Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 44, 2019 has duly passed. Councilmember Reed, do you have something else?
Yes, sir. Make a motion for the first reading of ordinance 45 of 2019.
Second.
We have a motion for the motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 45 of 2019.
Ordinance number 45 of 2019, an ordinance waiving construction related fees for the construction of the Everett Ford dealership facility, declaring emergency and for other purposes. Whereas the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas has assessed certain fees which are to be charged for the issuance of building permits, conducting inspections, and stormwater fees which are associated with the construction of buildings. And whereas Everett Ford has announced plans to construct a new facility in Benton, is now ready to proceed with this project. And whereas the City Council has promised in Resolution 20 of 2008 and Resolution 29 of 2009 as an economic incentive for businesses to locate their facilities in Benton, desires to waive the heretofore stated fees which are associated with this project. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1. All building permit fees, inspection fees, and stormwater fees for the construction of the facility for the Everett Ford dealership are hereby waived. The contractor and all subcontractors must obtain the permits and call for all required inspections. However, the aforementioned fees will not be required except all state surcharge fees must be paid in full at the time the permits are issued. Section 2, all other ordinances in conflict with this ordinance hereby repealed to the extent that such conflict exists, but not otherwise. Section 3, because of the need to proceed with this project which will be of benefit to the local economy, emergency hereby declared, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council?
Make a motion to suspend the rules for the second and third reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules for the second and third reading. Please
Jeff
take-
Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
I've got to recuse myself from voting on this ordinance.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Councilmember
Motion
Reed.
to adopt ordinance 45 on the second and third reading by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 45, 2019 by the reading of title only.
Ordinance number 45 of 2019, an ordinance waiving construction-related fees for the construction of the Everett Ford dealership facility, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Any comments from the public? From the council? Please take a vote.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
I recuse my vote.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Councilmember Reed.
Motion to adopt the emergency clause.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the emergency clause. Please take a vote.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Recuse my vote.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
All right, ordinance 45, 2019 is duly passed. Councilmember Reed, do you have anything?
Yes, sir. Make a motion for the first reading of ordinance 46 of 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 46 of 2019.
Ordinance number 46 of 2019, ordinance waiving construction-related fees for the renovation of the Palace Theater, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Whereas the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas has assessed certain fees which are to be charged for the issuance of building permits, conducting inspections, stormwater fees which are associated with the construction of buildings, and whereas Hipskin Excavating LLC has purchased the Palace Theater from the city and is presently renovating the facility which has historical significance in the city. And whereas the City Council, because of the investment Hipskin Excavating LLC is making to the downtown area by the renovation of the structure, desires to waive the 2, 4 stated fees which are associated with this project. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas. Section 1, all building permit fees, inspection fees, and stormwater fees for the renovation of the Palace Theater are hereby waived. The contractor and all subcontractors must obtain the permits and call for all required inspections. However, the aforementioned fees will not be required except all state surcharge fees must be paid in full at the time the permits are issued. Section 2, all the ordinance, the conflict with this ordinance hereby repealed to the extent that such a conflict exists, but not otherwise. Section 3, because of the need to proceed with this project, which will be of a benefit to the local economy, emergency is hereby declared, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council?
Motion to suspend the rules for the second and third reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules for the second and third reading. Please take a vote.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Carrie Murphy? Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsville.
Yes.
Motion to adopt ordinance 46 on the second and third reading by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 46 of 2019 by the reading of title only.
Ordinance number 46 of 2019, ordinance waiving construction-related fees for the renovation of the Palace Theater, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Carrie Murphy? Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsville?
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Motion to adopt the emergency clause.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the emergency clause.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Carrie Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsville?
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 46 of 2019 is duly passed. Councilmember Reed?
Yes, sir. At this time, make a motion for the first reading of ordinance 47 of 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 47 of 2019.
Ordinance number four.
Amendment before, I think, let's go ahead and read it once, then you make your amendment, and when the rules, presuming they're suspended, then we'll suspend on first, second, and third readings.
Okay.
I don't have enough room for that on my roads cheat sheet. Just saying, no.
Make small mistakes.
Ordinance number 47 of 2019, ordinance amending, revising, and restating the animal control ordinance of the City of Benton, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Whereas the City Council Ordinance 34 of 2013 created the City of Benton Animal Control Code for the city, and whereas the code has been amended several times since its enactment in 2013, and whereas it is the desire of the City Council to restate the code in its entirety and to add additional modifications to the same, therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1. The City Council does hereby adopt the City of Benton Animal Control Code, which is attached hereto as Exhibit A to this ordinance. It is incorporated now as if stated word for word. Section 2, the City Clerk of the City of Benton shall maintain 3 copies of this ordinance for the public to view and inspection. Section 3, Ordinance 34 of 2013, as well as Ordinance 18 of 2014, Ordinance 40 of 2014, Ordinance 41 of 2014, Ordinance 61 of 2018, and Ordinance 17 of 2019 are hereby repealed to the extent of any conflict with the code adopted herein, but not otherwise. Section 4, all other ordinances which are in conflict herewith are repealed to the extent of such conflict but not otherwise. Section 5, any part of this ordinance shall be held void, such parts shall be deemed severable, and the invalidity therefore shall not affect the remaining parts of this ordinance. Section 6, all individuals who are not in compliance with Section 12 pertaining to the housing of captive birds and the installation of a trolley system for controlling dogs shall come into compliance within 30 days from the effective date of this ordinance. Section 7, all individuals or businesses shall have 60 days from the effective date of this ordinance to come into compliance with the housing of snakes as contained within Section 17 of this ordinance. Section 8, because of the immediate need to make the above and foregoing changes in the existing animal control ordinance and to revise and update the same, an emergency is hereby declared to exist to preserve the peace, health, safety, and welfare, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to point out in Section 3, you may notice that we're repealing several different ordinances. The original animal control ordinance that we're dealing with was passed in 2013, Ordinance 34 of 2013. Since then, there have been several amendments to that, and we just restated those sections in those ordinances. And so we felt like that we needed to restate the entire thing. So this particular document encompasses all of those changes that have happened since 2013, plus the ones that are at issue tonight.
All right, thank you. All right, this time we'll take comments from the public. If you have a comment, you could please come up to the podium, state your name, and I'm going to ask Mr. Houston to start the timer. When you start talking, you have 3 minutes.
Okay. Hi, good evening. I'm here to ask for your
State
help.
your name, please.
Sorry, Laurie Druckenmiller. I'm here to ask for help to keep our residential neighborhoods from turning into possible business zones. There are 2 confirmed snake breeders and 1 pigeon breeder seller within a 3-mile radius of my home. One of these, called Snake Eyes Exotics, is a licensed breeder seller, and one has been selling and breeding without a license for years. The third on Cox Street, located by schools and churches, is claimed to have over 400 snakes, not including babies and eggs. These are some of the known sellers. How many are out there unknown? During the winter, snakes go into brumation or torpor, which is not a hibernation, but an extreme slowing of their metabolism. When the weather warms, snakes come back out again. I don't know if the last breeder was just gloating or what, but if this is true, we have a problem. That's over 550 plus or minus snakes, not including our local wild snakes. If a snake should escape, do you really think the breeders or sellers will say anything? If the suggested ordinance for birds is passed, his business can grow, allowing 60 diseases or more that pigeons' feces can carry. These feces contaminate the soil and, if left unclean, can attract mites, fleas, and rodents, to name just a few. When the feces dries, it can become airborne. An ordinance previously passed referencing chickens states they must be 100 feet away from a home or business. What's the difference between chicken and pigeons? Not much. I'm not here to educate you on snakes or pigeons. The snake and pigeon breeders will do that. I'm here to stop our residential neighborhoods from turning into snake and pigeon businesses. Neighbors have signed a petition stating they do not want this in a residential neighborhood. As a group of taxpayers, we want to know what the city is going to do to protect us from possible safety and health issues should anything happen. Everybody should be treated equally regardless of their occupations, and not influence the writing of this new ordinance. If we were to try and sell our house, we would be given a seller property disclosure to fill out, which asks, to our knowledge, are there any facts, circumstances, or events on or around the property which, if known to a potential buyer, could adversely affect in a material manner the value or desirability of the property? I would have to say yes. As mentioned in the community service animal control meeting, these seller breeders go unnoticed or uncontrolled until somebody speaks out. My neighbors and I are speaking out. In closing, I would like to remind everyone as a pet owner that I'm limited to 4 cats and dogs. They each must be licensed and given yearly shots. My neighborhood and surrounding neighborhoods are zoned residential, and my neighborhood bill of assurance states no breeding or selling of animals. To execute this bill of assurance, we have to hire an attorney.
Thank you. Time's up. All right. Any other comments? Any other comments from the public? Yes, sir. Mr. Ham?
Is there anyone else that would like to speak to this with regards to this residence in the area that it's in?
Please state your name.
I am Michael J. Sheffield.
Is the button on?
I am Michael J. Sheffield. Thank you. I am next door to Laurie Druckenmiller, and I've been a resident there for 5 years. And I have numerous snakes that I've been hobby breeding for 46, 7 years. And I'm also 2.5 years with a German toy breed pigeons that are captive bred and not free roaming. And I've got a statement that I've brought forward that from the last time.
Yeah, we'll just pick.
And that letter statement there is from my veterinarian, Dr. Marilyn Baines, who's a state authority, exotic wildlife. And she is been a zoo veterinarian for 30-plus years and has been working with me. I've been working with her since 1976. But either way, my snakes has never been a threat or harm to anybody as far as health or personal welfare. The pigeons are, like I said, they're captive, not free roaming, and I have all my health records and everything on them. They don't carry diseases. You know, that's a bird-related statement from her in terms of saying they got all this, erroneous disease-carrying factors. The snakes, as I said earlier, they're not, never pose a threat or harm. I'm not a breeder seller per se. It's been a hobby of mine. Everything I've had for the last 4 or 5 years is things that I've acquired. I have produced 1 litter of babies from a Guyana locality boa constrictor, and I still retain all the offsprings. I have not sold anything. So, and my pigeons the same. 2.5 years ago, I purchased these. I went to Iowa. I had some shipped from California and brought them all in. They're not anything that I have produced in quantities and have not sold a single animal. The animal location right now, my pigeon loft is 31 feet from her house. The city of Little Rock, if you look at their ordinance and their requirements, for going for over 50 years now, they've had their location, their loft.
Hey, thank you, sir. You're out of time.
Okay.
Thank you,
sir.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
Why do you not let your pigeons fly?
Well, they're, like I said, they're a German toy breed. It's a frillback. If you, I had pictures earlier from back in June the 4th, and they got tiny curls all on their wings and everything. And if you look at frillback on the internet, they're curl. They do fly, but because of the curls on the feathers and everything, they're a little clumsy bird, and they're real susceptible to the birds of prey, hawks and falcons. And yeah, sure, I understand. Okay.
Council, anyone else have a question?
Like your snakes that you have in your home, are they venomous snakes?
No, sir, definitely not. I'm sorry. I am purely a non-venomous snake handler. I mean, yes, in my younger years, I have dealt with some local venomous snakes. But, and when I say my younger years, that was my high school. But everything I deal with is purely non-venomous. They're harmless, they're good-natured, gentle animals, and they're not any harm or threat whatsoever. And
Did I hear you correctly, you haven't sold any of these pigeons or snakes?
that's correct, sir.
But your Property Owners Association, does it have anything in there regarding these pets that you own? Limitations or restrictions?
No, sir, unless you want to stretch it. The Builder's Bill of Assurance states livestock and poultry. And obviously, snakes and pigeons and doves is a big stretch from livestock and poultry. If you want to stretch it to livestock and poultry, you're going to capture your dogs and cats because they're more part of the farm, if you will, in terms of livestock and poultry. and also, they're not, as outlined, they're not part of the fowl system. The pigeons are.
We already got restrictions on cats and dogs. We already got
Yes,
those animals already accounted for in our regulations.
Mhm.
So there's no way you can throw that into that.
Well-
We've already addressed cats and dogs.
Yes, sir. Right. And see, and that's a thing that it's hard when you start including, fish and birds and reptiles, to pull into dogs and cats as far as a limit or numbers. And Ms. Littlefield will address that issue on as far as numbers here. On that.
Like we have in front of us is snakes, pigeons.
Yes, sir.
That's all we've got in front of us.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
Anyone else from the public?
Yes.
All right, please state your name.
Anya Littlefield. Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you for having us here tonight. Just a little bit of background on me. I've worked for the city of Benton for going on 7 years next month. I've been in the United States Army for 14. I've kept snakes most of my adult life, and I'm a big proponent of responsible keeping. My husband Matt and I are members of the United States Association of Reptile Keepers, who are big advocates of responsible reptile keeping. The packets that we've provided for you tonight contain a lot of information regarding a lot of the key talking points I had before that we probably won't have time to cover this evening. Just a few key points I'd like to cover. The snakes have not been a public safety issue in the city of Benton. I've taken numerous snake-related calls for animal control. I've assisted them numerous times. None of those times were the snakes anything that someone would keep as a pet. They were always wild snakes. So that has not been an issue up until this point. As well as I'm aware, there's never been an issue of something getting out. I know that Matt and I keep snakes in the best caging that we can possibly provide for them. There's no glass aquariums. A lot of times whenever you think of people that keep snakes, you think of aquariums and fish tanks stacked haphazardly. That's not the case by any means. And as far as the current ordinances, there's no limits on birds or fish or anything like that. And for there to be limits on snakes, if you're to limit snakes, you should limit lizards and everything else in the city of Benton, because discriminating against one species based on public perception is not constitutional or fair to our citizens. Also, this seems like an isolated incident between neighbors. There have not been any neighborhood issues in my neighborhood. I've actually talked to the neighbors on both sides of me, and they've written letters on our behalf. Those are in the packets that I've provided to you. And with this, you shouldn't punish responsible citizens, punish the people that are making mistakes, the people that are not keeping responsibly. And as far as what we keep ball pythons, Angolan pythons, and western hognose, most of which are under 4.5 feet and don't pose any kind of risk to anyone. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any councilman have a question? Councilperson?
This current ordinance on the snake part, there's no limit put in the ordinance on here. It is just talking about getting a city license.
No, that's correct.
And then if there's any Arkansas game and fish regulations on the snake, then they would have to abide by the state game and fish license.
Yes, that's correct. And if someone needed if they were selling, they have to get their proper permits. And if it is in a residential area, they've got to get a home occupation permit as well.
So it's just basically going to see Cindy at the city and getting your permits.
And the
that's it.
state.
And that it would allow, by getting the permits, would allow our animal control officer to yearly or periodically check up to make sure they're all kept in a safe manner.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Do we currently know how many people have businesses like this in their home? Terry?
I can only tell you what I've been told. This be a rumor.
We do not. Anyone else?
I would like to make an amendment to the, once we get through with the public.
All right, if there are no more questions, thank you. All right, now, comments from the council.
When we had the service meeting with the community animal control, it was brought to our attention in a manner of safety and being close to a house. And what I thought I was doing was making a compromise by moving it away from the neighbor's house to keep it 50 foot away, so it wouldn't be right beside the houses. That was the concern. And so we made the motion to be 50 foot from the residence and commercial. And then when it passed, I realized that on the technical end, it also included the property of the private property of the person. What I would like to do is make an amendment to go what I originally intended, but I know it's a vote, is that we have, where it's 50 foot from the neighbor's resident and commercial property, but that does not include the private property. So the language would change to read the neighbors. You have to keep it 50 foot from the neighbors. That's what I would like to propose that we change in the current ordinance that we're looking at.
All right, do we have a second?
The way I've written this is it is in section G, all pens, which is in section 12, subsection G, page 10, all pens or enclosures wherein chickens, ducks, fowl, or other captive birds of whatever nature or type are kept shall be not less than 50 feet from any neighbor's residence or business establishment.
Mayor, may I ask a point of clarification? Would Alderman Murphy accept a limit on the number of snakes within a residential business area onto this motion?
I think we need to take one motion at a time. That answers your question.
I was just asking, does that got a second?
Yes.
Well, I don't know who it is, but.
Frank Baptist, second. All right, we have a motion and a second for an amendment to ordinance number 47 of 2019. I can take a vote.
Carrie Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
No.
Evelyn Reed?
No.
Bill Donner?
No.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
No.
James Hertzfield?
No.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
No.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
4 yes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 no. Yes, sir. Failed.
So the amendment failed.
So the next question that you asked was about the limit on the snakes. And I don't have a problem with the limit if they've kept inside in their house and they're for sale and it's, what they're doing with them. They've never had a problem before. They, if they're going to get a license and our animal control can go and see them, I'm fine. But I tell you, I will be voting against the ordinance because currently there's nothing that prevents the pigeons or any exotic birds from being in cages 25 foot or anything. It just applies to chickens. So if this ordinance doesn't pass at all, then they can keep it how it is.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
could we hear from Terry Parsons?
Yes, sir.
Now, he's the one that's going to be, it's all going to be up in his
Enforcing it.
lap, so let's see what he thinks. Put you on the spot, Terry, and I know that don't bother you.
No, sir. Okay, what's the question?
What do you think about this ordinance?
On which part?
The reptiles, these things, people should be having reptiles in their house in a residential area.
Way the ordinance written now, it'll work. It's acceptable. I think if you start limiting on how many snakes
then you're opening the door, it's like Ms. Littlefield said, then you're gonna start limiting the fish and the guinea pigs and everything.
We limit dogs and cats already.
Well, we've already got a limit on dogs and cats.
I understand, but I think what you need to do is what you've got on the table right now, that issue probably needs to be discussed further, but not now, in my opinion.
So you like this ordinance the way it is?
Yes, sir. Y'all charged Mr. Houston and myself earlier in the year to put something together as far as the reptiles and also the birds. And I think and the chaining of the dogs, and I think we've covered every base.
Okay, thank you, Terry.
Okay, Mr. Mayor.
I have a question for Terry. So anybody who has a cage outside their house and they just want to take their birds out and put it in there for sun and get vitamin D and stuff, and if it's not 50 foot from the house, that will be illegal, correct?
That, under the current order, that is correct.
And so if the person who has currently had these birds for 5 or 3 years or however long, and if this ordinance passes as it is, they'll have to do away with the birds or put them inside their house, correct?
Well, first off, they need to measure and see if they can.
If it's if they're, can't be within a residence
But that's true.
within 50
Yeah,
foot.
you can put them inside your house and you'll be in compliance.
Okay.
All right, any other council person have a question for Mr. Parson?
So if we did put a limit on snakes in the future, you would have to go in there and count them, or your enforcement officials would go in there and have to count. Says 100 snakes, that's the limit. We'd have to go in there and count to make sure they're in compliance.
Well, I'm gonna have to go in there if this ordinance passed and then they get their permit and everything. I'm gonna have to go in there anyway. But if you did put a limit on the amount of snakes, the breeder and myself, yeah, we'd have to do some counting, yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Lee.
Being the amendment failed, what we're fixing to vote on, what is the distance the pens have to be from a house?
The ordinance 34 of 2013, y'all passed an ordinance that it had to be 100 feet from a residence or a business. That will be repealed. That was chickens only and fowl. What has been presented, that it's reduced to 50 foot from any resident or commercial establishment, which it includes any bird that's held in captivity outside.
All right, when you say 50 foot from a resident, does that include the ones that have them?
Yes.
So at 50 foot from your back door? Well, there's no way that any subdivision in Benton can have one under those circumstances.
Well, yes, sir, there,
I don't think that-
yes, sir, there is. We find somebody that, we have folks that has chickens or birds in the city, and I encourage, call me, and we'll come out and measure and try to help you get in compliance. And we have done that before, and there is subdivision where folks are in compliance.
It'd have to be, the lots would have to be 150 foot wide.
Well, there's different subdivisions in the city that folks are in compliance.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Any other councilman or council person have a question, Mr. Parsons? Mr. Houston, you was about to say something?
I was just going to say that when Terry and I went to the committee with the proposals on this, we gave the committee 3 different options with respect to snakes. The first option was to essentially not do anything other than restate the existing law and try to pull it together in a section involving the animals, or this ordinance rather. The second option was to restrict any breeder to having to be in a commercial zone and not a residential. Third option was an outright ban as for snakes completely, and the committee went with the least restrictive method of doing that.
All right, so I guess Councilmember Reed, do you have anything further?
So we're still on this original.
Yes, ma'am.
So
The way I understand it.
we're at the point of suspending the rules for the second and third reading.
Yes, ma'am.
Make that a motion, okay.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules for the second and third reading.
Bill second.
Bill Donner seconded. Please take a vote.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsfield.
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
No.
Okay.
All right,
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 47 on the second and third reading by title only.
Second.
we have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 47 of 2019 by the reading of the title only.
Ordinance number 47 of 2019, ordinance amending, revising, restating the animal control ordinance of the city of Benton, declaring emergency and for other purposes.
All right, any further comments from the public? Comments from the council?
I've got a question. Is this changing it from 100 foot to 50?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That is correct.
For all birds, chickens too,
For all birds?
Yes.
all birds. So my comment is, I feel like we've let a domestic dispute change something that's going to be affect other people in the city. We've let one incident of a domestic dispute that's changed this so that a man's going to lose his right to have some birds in his yard that he's had for years.
All right, any other comments? All right, Councilman.
But if we don't do anything, he's still gonna lose those birds.
No, because it's not, if we don't do anything on this, it stays as it is. It's only chickens that have to be 100 foot from a house. Pigeons and parrots and parakeets and toucans and all that stuff can stay 25 foot from your house.
Canaries.
Yep. And it doesn't affect the snakes either. It's the same thing, just won't have a license. Everybody still gets to go along before all this happened.
Except now.
All right.
You want me to call Paul?
Please.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
No.
Jeff Morrow.
No.
Judd Hart.
No.
James Hurtsfield.
No.
Steve Lee.
No.
Jeff Ham.
No.
Frank Baptist.
No.
Kerry Murphy.
No.
Joshua Cash. 9 no, 1 yes.
All right, so ordinance 47 of 2019 has failed. All right, council member. Yes, sir.
So what you're telling the citizens of Benton, excluding the reptiles and the birds, that y'all are going to continue allow chaining of dogs in the city of Benton? Is that what we're saying?
That's not what I want to say, Terry. I wanted to fix that, but I can't do the other and take the guys. So if we could bring it back as a separate issue, I'd be more than happy to support that. I do not support chaining dogs.
Okay.
We'll have to bring it back.
Okay.
Sorry. All right, Councilmember Reed, do you have anything else?
Yes, sir. This time, make a motion to adopt resolution 55 of 2019.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 55 of 2019. Please read it.
Federal Aid Project Resolution, Resolution 51, 2019, resolution expressing the willingness of the City of Benton to utilize federal aid funds for the following city project: construction of the Newcomb Road sidewalks, whereas the Metro Plan Board has approved federal aid transportation alternative program funds for the project at the following federal and city participating ratios. Construction of city projects. Work phase, the preliminary engineering, the federal government pays 0%, city pays 100%. Right-of-way, federal government 0%, city 100%. Utilities, federal government 0%, city 100%. Construction, federal government 80%, city 20%. Construction engineering, federal government 0% and city 100%. City projects program but not let to contract all phases. Federal is 0 and city is 100%. Therefore, be it resolved by City Council of City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1, the city will participate in accordance with its designated responsibility in this project, including maintenance of this project. Section 2, the city mayor or his designated representative is hereby authorized and directed to execute all appropriate agreements and contracts necessary to expedite the construction of this city project. Section 3, the city pledges its full support and hereby authorizes the Arkansas Department of Transportation to initiate action to implement this project.
Mr. Mayor, we've had I guess, a misunderstanding. Resolution 51 was actually what was read, and the motion was for Resolution 55 of 19.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why didn't you stop me?
You were halfway in when I
So?
realized. So,
Wait until the.
I've already read it, so I'm not reading it again.
okay, so I think we just show that that the motion is amended to show Resolution 51 is read as opposed to 55.
What are we doing? Just tell me.
Your minutes need to reflect that the motion was for 51.
Well, that's what it already says.
So.
Sorry. So we're on Resolution 51,
That's correct.
and it's the one I read.
Yes.
May I call vote? May I call the roll
Yeah,
call
well, we
vote?
need to get comments first, don't we? Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Now, please take a vote.
Thank you. Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsfield,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist, Carrie Murphy, Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Oh, Bill, but you can't vote twice, I'm sorry, I called your roll.
I'll vote no, but if you want to.
No, you can't.
Resolution 51 of 2019 has duly passed. All right,
I apologize, I will listen this time.
Council Member Reed, do you have anything else?
Are we gonna read, resolution 55, make a motion that we read resolution 55? adopted?
We have a motion and a second to read resolution number 55.
Thank you, all right. Resolution 55 of 2019, a resolution exempting Wednesday, July the 4th from ordinance 29 of 2007, providing for fireworks.
July the 3rd.
It is, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
I thought. July the 3rd, from ordinance 29 of 2007, providing for firework displays by public pursuant to ordinance 23 of 2013 on the same date and for other purposes. Whereas ordinance 29 of 2007 prohibits excessive noises within the city of Benton, but authorizes the city council to pass resolutions from time to time authorizing public activities which are exempt from the ordinance. And whereas ordinance 32 of 2013 authorizes the city council to allow fireworks displays within the city. And whereas Independence Day will celebrate our national pride and heritage, and many individuals within the city desire to have firework displays on Wednesday. Am I right?
Yes, Wednesday.
I
Wednesday.
think we need to say probably the 3rd and the 4th.
Say Wednesday and Thursday, July the 3rd and 4th. And the same thing in the title, correct?
Correct.
Okay. As part of the holiday celebration. And whereas the City Council wishes to designate these activities which occur within the city as a public activity as defined in Ordinance 29, 2007, Section 4, Paragraph 3. And whereas the City Council also wishes to authorize the fireworks displays to occur during this time pursuant to Ordinance 32 of 2013. Now therefore be resolved by City Council of City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1. City Council pursuant to Ordinance 29 of 2007, Section 4, Paragraph 3 designates all firework displays on July the 3rd and 4th, 2019 as being exempt from the city's noise ordinance. This designation is only from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. The Section 2, the City Council pursuant to Ordinance 32 of 2013 does hereby authorize, we don't need Section 2, do we? Because does it not say the same thing as Section 1?
No, Section 1 deals with the noise ordinance.
Noise ordinance, okay. Just tell me to be quiet. The City Council pursuant to Ordinance 32 of 2013 does hereby authorize fireworks displays by the public on July the 3rd and 4th, 2019, from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. Sorry.
All right, any comments from the public?
No.
All right. Please state your name, and you've got 3 minutes. Mr. Houston, would you please start the clock?
My name is Patricia Ashley, and this is my third year coming before the council. And to eliminate a noise ordinance means it can be as loud as you choose to be. Am I correct? Okay. I have shown most of this council what was found at my porch. It looked like a stick of dynamite. And it was like, well, Mayor, I showed it to you, and you said to me that if it was 38,000 people, you may do some, but one, it really didn't matter, so I understood. I'm opposed to the firework. It's not safe. It's selective protecting. 1,000 feet from the hospital, you don't shoot them near the school, but I have to tolerate that. I hate the 4th of July, and I have reason to, because you can't brace yourself for what's going to happen because you don't know what's going to happen. You have an ordinance that cannot be enforced. It's catch and release if you catch it all. And I think it's irresponsible. I think it's unsafe. And I want to be safe. And I want this council to stop the fireworks this year, relook at the ordinance, and find out what they can do to make us safe. The police can't even keep us safe. And I'd like to have a copy of the council's oath, because some may have perjurized themselves. We got to be safe. If you can't give me safety, you can't give me anything. And I have been told by a source, a reliable source, that is politically motivated what's happening to me.
All right, thank you. Any comments from the council? If not, let's take a vote.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield? Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
No.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
All right, Resolution 55 of 2019 is duly passed. Councilmember Reed, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, Councilmember Ham, do you have anything for street drainage? Sir?
I'm sorry. Do I understand that Resolution 51 is duly passed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I won't mess with that. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for the reading of ordinance number 48, 2019.
All right, we have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 48 of 2019.
Ordinance number 48 of 2019, ordinance adopting the stormwater discharge regulations for the city of Benton, Arkansas, repealing ordinance 2 of 2006 and ordinance 24 of 2009, declaring emergency and for the purposes. Whereas the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas adopted certain stormwater rules and regulations, ordinance 2 of 2006 and an ordinance 24 of 2009. And whereas the City Council has formed and determined that it should amend and restate these currently adopted rules and regulations. And whereas the City Council has found that the stormwater discharge regulations which are attached hereto as Exhibit 1 are reasonable and necessary and should be adopted to govern stormwater within the City of Benton. Now therefore be it ordained by City Council of City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1, the document entitled Stormwater Discharge Regulations for Benton, Arkansas, which is attached hereto and marked Exhibit 1 and is incorporated now by reference as if stated word for word, is hereby adopted by the City Council as the rules and regulations governing stormwater within the city. Section 2, the City Clerk shall maintain 3 copies of the ordinance in the City Clerk's office. Should be examined by the public. Section 3, if any provision of this ordinance or the application thereof to any person or circumstance held invalid, such invalidity shall not affect the other provisions or applications of this ordinance, which can be given effect without the invalid provision or application to the extent the provisions of this ordinance hereby declared to be severable. Section 4, all City of Benton ordinances, resolutions, regulations, and parts thereof in conflict with stormwater discharge regulations for Benton, Arkansas, attached hereto and marked Exhibit 1 are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict, including Ordinance 2 of 2006 and Ordinance 24, 2009. Section 5, there's immediate need to adopt the amended stormwater discharge regulations for Benton, Arkansas in order to address flooding issues within the city. Therefore, emergency exists, and this ordinance is necessary for the preservation of the public peace, health, and safety. It shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council? All right, Councilmember Ham?
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Please take a vote.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsville,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Gary Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Councilmember Ham?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to have the ordinance number 48 asked to be passed on the second and third readings.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 48 of 2019 on the second and third reading.
Ordinance number 48 of 2019, an ordinance adopting stormwater discharge regulations for the city of Benton, Arkansas, repealing ordinance 2 of 2006 and ordinance 24, 2009, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Any comments from the public? From the council? Please take a vote.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsville,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Gary Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Councilmember Ham?
Make a motion to pass the emergency clause. Second.
Have a motion and a second to pass the emergency clause.
James Hurtsville,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Gary Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 48 of 2019 is duly passed. Councilmember Ham, do you have anything else?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to have the first reading of ordinance number 49 of 2019. Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance 49 of 2019.
Ordinance 49 of 2019, ordinance amending ordinance 45 of 2007, modifying certain references contained therein, declaring an emergency and for the purposes. Whereas the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, in ordinance 45 of 2007, adopted the Little Rock Stormwater and Drainage Manual and all additions hence to properly manage stormwater within the city in order to meet federal and state regulations. And whereas it's been determined that throughout the adopted Little Rock Stormwater and Drainage Manual, there exists references to the Public Works Department, which should refer to the City of Benton Streets and Drainage Department and/or the city engineer. And whereas it's been determined that throughout the adopted Little Rock Stormwater and Drainage Manual, there exist statements which say all appeals should go to the Planning Commission, and those references should state all appeals go to the Benton City Streets and Drainage Committee. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1, all references within the Little Rock Stormwater and Drainage Manual that refer to the Public Works Department shall be deemed to state the City of Benton Streets and Drainage Department and/or city engineer. Section 2, all references within the Little Rock Stormwater and Drainage Manual that refer to the appeals body as being the Planning Commission shall be deemed to state the City of Benton Streets and Drainage Committee. Section 3, all ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance hereby repealed. Section 4, the City Council hereby determines that the immediate action to clarify the above references are necessary for the preservation of public health, safety, and welfare, and emergencies hereby declared. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect after its passage and approval.
All right, any comments from the public? From the council? Councilmember Ham?
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Please take a vote.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Gary Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsville,
Yes.
Councilmember Ham,
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I ask that the ordinance number 49 be passed on the second and third reading.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to pass ordinance number 49 on the second and third reading by title only.
Ordinance number 49, 2019, ordinance amending ordinance. That's not it. Wait a minute. Am I right?
49?
Did I read? Yes. May I start again?
Yes.
Ordinance number 49, 2019, ordinance amending ordinance 45 of 2007, modifying certain references contained therein, declaring emergency and for other purposes.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Kerry Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsfield,
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Anything else, Councilmember Ham?
Make a motion that we pass the emergency clause.
We have a motion and a second to pass the emergency clause.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Kerry Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsfield,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 49, 2019 is duly passed. Councilmember Ham, do you have anything else?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for the first reading of ordinance number 50 of 2019.
Have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 50 of 2019.
Ordinance number 50 of 2019. An ordinance waiving competitive bidding and authorizing and waiving, just a second, the street and drainage repair work to the east Maple Street from, storm drain, declaring emergency and for other purposes. Whereas the box culvert located on Maple Street collapsed and currently presents an emergency situation which affects the public's ability to use the street and has created a public safety hazard in the area. And whereas the mayor declared the matter an emergency and commenced to undertake engineering work in order to make timely repairs to the box culvert and street. And whereas the city council of the city of Benton, Arkansas has determined that it should authorize and ratify the actions of the mayor and also waive competitive bidding for this project. Now therefore be it ordained by the city council of the city of Benton, Arkansas, section 1. All actions of the mayor in commencing repair work to the box culvert on Maple Street are hereby deemed ratified and approved. The mayor is also authorized to retain J-Con Inc. To undertake the needed repair work to the box culvert. Section 2. The requirement of competitive bidding for the project because of the need for immediate repairs to Maple Street is deemed not feasible or practical and therefore is waived. Section 3. The mayor and city clerk hereby authorized and directed to execute such additional documentation as may be necessary or convenient to effect the purposes of this ordinance. The mayor is likewise authorized to pay the amounts due on the contract with J-Con Inc., and such authorization is deemed to be an appropriation of the city's funds. Section 4, the immediate repair of the box culvert on Maple Street is needed to address public safety concerns and any delay in the same adds intolerable inconvenience to the delivery of necessary services to the public. Therefore, emergency exists, and this ordinance is necessary for the preservation of public peace, health, and safety. It shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Councilmember Ham?
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 49 on the second reading.
Suspend the rules.
Ordinance 50?
50, I'm sorry.
Suspend.
We need to suspend the rules first.
Oh, we have suspended rules. yet. I'm
No,
sorry.
sir.
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules on ordinance number 50 of 2019.
Kerry Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart, James Hurtsfield,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
All right, Councilmember Ham.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask for adopting the ordinance number 50 of 2019 on the second, third reading.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 50 of 2019, second and third reading by title only.
Ordinance number 50 of 2019, ordinance waiving competitive bidding, authorizing and ratifying the street and drainage repair work to the east Maple Street storm drain, declaring emergency and for other purposes.
Any comments from the public?
Haven't done.
from the council? Please take a vote.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Last vote on an emergency clause for 50?
No. Suspend the rules.
Suspend the rules.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist? Gary Murphy?
Yes.
All right, Councilmember Ham, anything else?
Make a motion to pass the emergency clause?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass the emergency clause. Please
Evelyn
take-
Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield? Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Gary Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
All right, ordinance 50 of 2019 is duly passed. Now we'll hear a report from Councilmember Donner on personnel and health and safety.
Nothing to
Committee.
report, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
don't we have to go through ordinance number 56?
that is correct. All right,
Sorry about that.
Councilmember Ham.
I'd like to ask for the first reading of ordinance number 56 of 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 56 of 2019.
Ordinance number 56 of 2019, ordinance authorizing the acquisition of certain land by eminent domain at the intersection of Congo Road and West Long Hills Road, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Whereas the city of Benton has determined that the placement of a roundabout at the intersection of Congo Road and West Long Hills Road in the city of Benton is necessary for the safe and continuous flow of traffic along said highway. And whereas it's been determined that an additional tract of real property located within Benton will be necessary for expanding the roadway. And whereas the city and a property owner have not been able to reach an accord on the acquisition of the easement, which is creating a construction delay. And whereas the City Council of the City of Benton desires to authorize the use of the eminent domain on the heretofore described property. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1. The city shall acquire by exercise of its power of eminent domain the following described lands unless the city is able to reach an accord with the property owner located at the intersection of Congo Road and West Long Hills Road, to wit, it's PB General Holdings LLC, 3904 Congo Road, Benton, parcel number 800-57125-000. Section 2, the mayor is authorized and directed to pay into the registry of the Saline County Circuit Court the value of said lands and such other sums as may be finally determined by the Circuit Court to be just compensation to the owners of the described lands for the eminent domain taking authorized by this ordinance. Said sums shall be paid from those funds previously authorized for the project. The city attorney is authorized and directed to file suit against the necessary parties to obtain the properties needed for the project. Section 3. It is hereby found and determined that the immediate passage of this ordinance is necessary for the immediate taking of the property inasmuch as other construction on the project has commenced and being necessary for the immediate preservation of public health, safety, and welfare. Therefore, emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval.
Any comments from the public? Comments from the council?
Okay. Mr. Mayor, on this particular taking, there's several pieces that are needed, and the city has negotiated with all the property owners in trying to get right-of-ways secured. This particular one is for the Dollar General, and there are issues dealing with them internally, and so it may prevent the project from going on timely if we continue on with their internal red tape. And so that's why this is being brought forward.
All right, thank you. All right, Councilmember Ham,
Make a motion to suspend the rules?
we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Please take a vote.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Gary Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Councilmember Ham, do you have anything else?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask that ordinance number 56 be passed on the second and third readings.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass ordinance number 56, a second, third reading by title only.
Ordinance number 56 of 2019, an ordinance authorizing the acquisition of certain lands by eminent domain at the intersection of Congo Road and West Long Hills Road, declaring emergency and for other purposes.
Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsfield,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Kerry Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Councilmember Ham.
I'd like to make a motion to pass the emergency clause. Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass the emergency clause.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsfield,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Kerry Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 56 of 2019 is duly passed. All right,
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
thank you, sir. Councilmember Hart, Parks Committee report.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like a motion for the first reading of ordinance 51 of 2019, please.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 51 of 2019.
Ordinance number 51 of 2019, an ordinance amending the 2019 budget for the Parks Fund as adopted in Ordinance 1 of 2019, authorizing certain improvements at Holland Park and Tyndall Park, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Whereas the City Council adopted the 2019 Parks Fund budget in Ordinance 1 of 2019, and whereas the City Council needs to amend the 2019 Parks Fund budget to appropriate funds for certain improvements which are needed at Holland Park and Tyndall Park as set forth in Ordinance 1 to this ordinance, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1, pursuant to authority granted ACA 1458-202 and 1458-203, the City Council does hereby amend the fiscal year 2019 City of Benton budget as adopted in Ordinance 1 of 2019. The revised expenditures for the operations of the city are attached hereto as Exhibit 1 to this order and are fully described therein. The adoption of this amendment shall be deemed as appropriation pursuant to the foregoing statutes as well as any other applicable ordinance of the city. Section 2 is hereby found and determined there is immediate need to amend the budget to appropriate funds as set forth herein. Therefore, emergency exists, and this ordinance is necessary for the preservation of public peace, health, and safety. It shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval.
Any comments from the public? Comments from the council?
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Please take a vote.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Kerry Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsfield,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
All right, Councilmember Hart.
Motion to adopt on second and third reading by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt on second and third reading by title only.
Ordinance number 51, 2019, ordinance amending the 2019 budget for the Parks Fund as adopted in Ordinance 1 of 2019, authorizing certain improvements at Holland Park and Tyndall Park, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Any comments from the public? Comments from the council?
Yes, sir. I've been for parks my entire life. I've been around parks my entire life. This includes a $180,000 expenditure that I do not agree with, so I'm going to vote against it. I know it's going to pass, but I just cannot see that expenditure.
All right, thank you. Any other comments? All right, Councilmember Hart.
Motion to adopt the emergency clause.
Oh, I didn't take a vote on
Oh, okay.
to adopt it.
All right, you take a vote.
Kerry Murphy,
Yes.
Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsfield,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
No.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
All right, now, Council.
Motion to adopt the emergency clause, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the emergency clause. Please take a vote.
Oh, you know what, I didn't do that right. Joshua Cash,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
James Hurtsfield,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 51 of 2019 is duly passed.
Mayor, I'd like a motion to approve Resolution 52 of 2019, please.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 52 of 2019.
Resolution 52 of 2019, a resolution accepting the lowest acceptable bid for the installation of playground equipment at Ralph Bunche Park and for other purposes. Whereas the City of Benton, after having advertised for bids for the installation of new playground equipment at Ralph Bunche Park, the City Council has determined that the bid submitted by ACS Playground Adventures is the lowest acceptable bid for the project, and the city should award the contract to the lowest acceptable bidder. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of City of Benton, Arkansas, that Section 1, the bid of ACS Playground Adventures in the amount of $81,000 is the lowest acceptable bid for the installation of playground equipment at Ralph Bunche Park. Section 2, the mayor is authorized to execute on behalf of the City of Benton a contract for the installation of playground equipment at Ralph Bunche Park with a successful bidder, and to execute such other documents as may be necessary and convenient to accomplish this purpose. The mayor is likewise authorized on behalf of the city to pay ACS Playground Adventures those sums which become due and payable over the course of the contract term.
All right, any comments from the public?
Sorry.
Any comments from the council?
I would like for Councilmember Hart to explain, as he did, so it's in the minutes of the meeting, the situation with the bidder.
Just so you know, it's not this is not the lowest bid that was obtained. It's the second lowest one, but is under the budgeted amount. And the two pieces of equipment that were recommended by the separate companies were really not comparable. The other one had a lot more amenities and a lot more inclusive apparatuses that we're trying to include in all of our parks as well. And so they were really just not comparable in the two bids in the equipment.
And the city's not required to take the lowest bid. It is required to take the lowest acceptable bid, which I understand the committee passed.
That's correct.
All right, thank you. All right, please take a vote.
James Hurtsfield.
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Judd Hart.
All right.
Yes.
Resolution 52 of 2019 is duly passed. Councilmember Hart.
Yes, I'd like a motion for the first reading of ordinance 52 of 2019, please.
We have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 52 of 2019.
Ordinance number 52 of 2019, ordinance amending the 2019 usage rates for the Parks and Recreation Department declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Whereas the City Council adopted certain rental rates in ordinance 14 of 2019 and has determined it's the best interest of the city to set a rate for the usage of the sand volleyball courts for the City of Benton Parks facilities, which will help fund the operations of the Parks and Recreation Department. And therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, that Section 1, the City Council does hereby adopt the amended usage rates are attached hereto collectively as Exhibit 1 to this ordinance. The fees collected from these rates shall be used by the Parks and Recreation Department to fund its operations and expenses. This ordinance amends Ordinance 14 of 2019. Section 2, the rates established herein shall remain in effect until such time as the city modifies them by ordinance. Section 3, because of the need to set usage rates for the City of Benton Parks and Recreational Department, an emergency is hereby declared, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval.
All right, any comments from the public? Comments from the council?
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Please take a vote.
James Hurtsfield.
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
All right, would you like to make an additional motion?
Yes, a motion to adopt on second and third reading by title only.
We have a motion and a second to adopt by title only on the second, third reading.
Ordinance number 52 of 2019, ordinance amending the 2019 uses rates for the Parks and Recreation Department declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Any comments from the public, from the council? Please take a vote.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
James Hurtsfield.
Yes.
All right, is there anything further?
Motion to adopt the emergency clause, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the emergency clause. Please take a vote.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Kerry Murphy.
Yes.
Joshua Cash.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 52 of 2019 is duly passed. Councilmember Hart, you have anything else?
Yes, a resolution to adopt Resolution 53 of 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 53 of 2019. Please read it.
Just- Resolution 53 of 2019, resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement with the Benton School District for the operation of the high school tennis team at Tyndall Park and for other purposes. Whereas the city council has determined that it needs to enter into a contract with the Benton School District for using Tyndall Park for operating the high school tennis team. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1, the mayor and city clerk are hereby authorized to execute on behalf of the City of Benton the agreement with the Benton School District, which is attached hereto as Exhibit 1 for the operation of the high school tennis team at Tyndall Park, and to execute such other documents as may be necessary and convenient to accomplish the purpose of this resolution.
Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Resolution number 53 of 2019 is duly passed. Councilmember Hart, you have anything else?
One more, Mayor. I'd like a motion to pass Resolution 54 of 2019, please.
We have a motion and a second to pass resolution number 54 of 2019. Please read it.
Resolution 54, 2019, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement with the Benton School District for the operation of the high school swim team at Riverside Park and for other purposes. Whereas the city council has determined that it needs to enter into a contract with the Benton School District for using the River Center natatorium for operating the high school swim team. Now therefore be it resolved by the city council of the city of Benton, Arkansas, that Section 1, the mayor and city clerk are hereby authorized to execute on behalf of the city of Benton the agreement with the Benton School District, which is attached hereto as Exhibit 1 for the operation of the high school swim team at Riverside Park, and to execute such other documents as may be necessary and convenient to accomplish the purpose of this resolution.
Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
All right, resolution 54, 2019 is duly passed. Anything else, Councilmember Hart?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, Councilmember Hurtsfield.
Yes, sir, Mayor. I would like to make a motion for the first reading of ordinance 3, 2019.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second for the first reading of ordinance number 53 of 2019.
Ordinance number 53, 2019, ordinance waiving competitive bidding, authorizing and ratifying the purchase of two Myers. You'll see the description: pump with a 50-foot cord with a lifting bell and bolt and gasket system with adaptation to current rail systems for the Benton Utilities Wastewater Collection Department, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Whereas the two pumps which collect wastewater are failing, which requires the emergency replacement in order to maintain the operation of the system. And whereas the mayor and city council of the city of Benton, Arkansas have determined that the city should purchase two Myers with that long description there, pump with a 50-foot cord, lifting bell and bolt and gasket kit with an adaptation of curtain rail system included for the Benton Utilities Wastewater Collection Department without competitive bidding in connection therewith. And whereas the City Council wishes to authorize an approved transaction described below. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, that Section 1 is best interest of the city to purchase from Jack Tire Engineering Incorporated two Meyer with a long description there, pump with 50-foot cord, lifting bell and bolt and gasket kit with adaptation of curtain rail system included for $28,437.50. That would be, it's two at that price, is that not correct? So it's 28,000, yeah, okay. Times two.
56,000.
Okay. I'm just gonna put Copies of said quote and supporting documents are attached to this ordinance and incorporated herein by reference. The wastewater collection department is authorized and directed to purchase from the vendor set out in said quote 2 Myers for, with that long description, pump with 50-foot cord, lifting bell and bolt and gasket kit with adaptation of curtain rail systems included for $28,437.50 times 2. All actions of the Benton Utilities wastewater collection department pursuing the purchase authorized herein from Jack Tyler Engineering Incorporated prior to the formal adoption of this ordinance are hereby confirmed, ratified, and approved. Section 2, the requirement of competitive bidding for the purchase hereby authorized is deemed not feasible or practical and therefore is waived. Section 3, the mayor and city clerk hereby authorized and directed to execute such additional documentation as may be necessary and convenient to effect the purposes of this ordinance. Section 4, the immediate entry into, implementation of, and payment of 2 Myers pumps with a 50-foot cord, lifting bell and bolt, and gasket kit with adaptation of curtain rail system included for $28,437.50 times 2 are authorized herein, and the ratifications of actions taken to date are necessary for the city to properly and timely perform tasks required of the Benton Utilities wastewater collection department currently underway, and any delay in the same and adds intolerable inconvenience to delivery necessary services to the public. Therefore, emergency exist, and this ordinance is necessary for the preservation of the public peace, health, and safety. It shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval.
Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Councilmember Hartsfield,
Motion to suspend the rules. Second.
we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Please take a vote.
Gary Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Councilmember Hartsfield, do you have anything else?
Motion to approve the second and third reading by title only. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the second and third reading by title only. Please read by title only.
Ordinance number 53 of 2019, ordinance waiving competitive bidding and authorizing and ratifying the purchase of 2 Myers pumps with 50-foot cord with lifting bell and bolt and gasket system with adaptations to current rail systems for the Benton Utilities wastewater collection department declaring emergency and for other purposes.
Comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
Gary Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Is there anything else? Councilmember Hartsfield?
Motion to approve the emergency clause.
No, you should emergency clause first.
We have a motion to approve the emergency clause. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the emergency clause. Please take a vote.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Gary Murphy?
Yes.
All right, ordinance.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'm not a mechanical engineer, but I know that they've got some broke equipment.
Yes, sir.
So I would make a motion to read ordinances 53 and 54 by title only, instead of reading all the.
Could we do 54 and 55?
Well, what I think,
It's one and, are y'all tired of
Okay.
hearing me read?
well, I think the appropriate thing to do, how to handle it, would be when Alderman Hertzfield makes his motion. He makes a motion to suspend the rules at the very first to read by title only on first, second, and third readings.
Okay, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
He
All
didn't.
right, Councilmember Hertzfield?
We got through, ordinance 53.
Yes, sir, we're on 54.
All right. Then I ask the motion for the first reading of ordinance 54.
No, sir, no, you need to make a motion to suspend the rules to read by title only on the first, second, and third readings. If you want to do that, Alderman Hertzfield, that's up to you.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules on ordinance 54 and 55.
Just one at a time.
One at a time. 54, first, second.
All right.
First, second, third.
All right, we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules on ordinance 54 by reading title only. First, second, and third time.
May I call the roll?
Yes, please.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
No.
That's fine.
Who's not, say no.
All right. We have any comments from the public, from the council? All right.
Well, no, because now we've got to make a motion to adopt it on the
Right.
first, second, and third readings.
Right. Okay.
Make a motion to adopt
Yes.
54?
54.
first, second, and third reading.
All right, we have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 54.
On the first,
On the
second,
first, second, and third reading.
Okay. Ordinance number 54, 2019, ordinance waiving competitive bidding, authorizing and ratifying the purchase of one clarifier drive assembly and additional parts with installation for the Benton Utilities wastewater treatment department, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
All right. Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Please take a vote.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Passes.
Now we've got emergency clause.
All right, do we have another?
And they need to, motion to approve the emergency clause on
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the emergency clause on ordinance number 54, 2019.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
All right, ordinance 54, 2019 is duly passed. Councilmember Hertzfield, do you have anything else? Councilmember Hertzfield?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, I got ordinance, make a motion for the first reading. This approves the first reading of,
Second and third.
55.
Okay, I think you meant to say suspend the rules for this first, second, and third reading and read by title only. Is that correct, council member? Yes, sir? Okay. I'm sorry we pulled that on you.
All right, we have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and read by title only in the first, second, and third reading. All right, take a vote.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
All right, Councilmember.
Approve the emergency clause.
No. We got to suspend.
You've got to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt first, second, and third reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 55 on the first, second, and third reading by title only.
Okay. Ordinance number 55 of 2019, an ordinance waiving competitive bidding, authorizing and ratifying the purchase of two 16-amp transfer switches, one with a 1600-amp plug and one with a 1300-amp trip plug, plus installation for the Benton Utilities Water Purification Department, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
All right, any comments from the public, from the council? All right, Councilmember Hertzfield, do you have anything further? Oh, we got to take a vote.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
All right, now,
I make a motion to approve the emergency clause.
Second.
have a motion and a second to approve the emergency clause.
James Hurtsfield?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham?
Yes.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Kerry Murphy?
Yes.
Joshua Cash?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 55, 2019 is duly passed. Councilmember Murphy or Councilmember Baptist, do you have a report on A&P Commission?
Yes, sir, we had a A&P meeting last week. We voted to fund a Wally Hall social media for $1,350. We also voted to send $330,000 to CD, which we were only getting 1% in the checking account, so we're getting it to where it's, depending on the duration, it'll be either 2.05 or 2.3%. And then the plan is at the end of the year to put it all toward the debt, to retire it early. So if we put all that to it and others that we got the plan, we think in 2.5 years it'll be paid off. We also, they did other reports about over 8,500 last month coming through the event center. And of course, other events this month, so that was it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, any new business? Any old business? Any additional comments from the public? All right, do I have a motion?
Just one other comment,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair. I will be forwarding these minutes to all the council members, yourself, the city attorney, and city clerk as well.
All right, thank you.
I guess I did have one announcement.
Yes, sir.
I'll be moving next month, and so next month will be my last council meeting. I'll have to resign because I'll be out of the Benton area, and it's been a great 9 years. I've enjoyed working with all of y'all, and we've accomplished a lot of good for the city. And it's been a joy, even if we didn't agree, that we all gave our position. And I think we've been a great example to everybody in the state, how civility and working together, even if you don't have the same ideas, how you can get your point across and be civil and friends afterwards. And we do a prayer before every meeting, and we salute the flag. And I've been so proud to be a part of the Benton City Council. And I couldn't be more proud of where the city, I feel like, is going in the direction, and I feel like all the council members and alderwomen and aldermen can, or have good hearts and good intentions, and they're going to keep the city moving forward.
Thank you. We'll miss you, but thank you. All right, if nothing else, anyone else with a comment? I have a motion.
I'd just like to thank Alderman Murphy for his leadership and his commitment to the city. You'll be missed.
I would like to say thank you, Alderman Murphy. He and I don't always agree, but he's a good guy, and he does some good work, and I appreciate him.
Will that be one last concern?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say one other thing. Although Councilman Murphy and I have not always agreed on every issue, we have different ideas that way, but we've always agreed to walk away and be able to talk again and discuss other issues without holding grudges. But I have yet to get into his gun show free yet.
Once he leaves, the
Wait.
replacement, will it have to be by election?
No. It is either or. With more than 1 year, city council has the authority to either call an election or do an appointment. That's my recollection of the state statute. And so what we've done traditionally is that decision goes to the personnel committee, and then it comes here, declaring the position vacant, and either calling for an election or calling for resumes, and you go through the appointment process as we have done for other council members in the past.
I was just thinking, if it's over a year, it's one way, or under a year.
If it's under a year, there's no choice. You have to do it by appointment. If it's more than 1 year for a council member, then you have the option of doing either or.
See, in the past, Mr. Mayor, Judd Hart got appointed by the personnel committee, and these two ladies here came from the committee.
Okay.
So I think done pretty well.
Real well,
I think.
real well. All right. Any other comments? Do we have a motion? Yes, sir.
I'd just like to say, Kerry, also, I agree 100% with what's being said, but I also want to include the entire council. It's nice to work with a body of people who have the agreement to disagree.
All right, anyone else? All right, we have a motion to adjourn. We have a motion to adjourn. Thank you all for the fine work.
Mr. Mayor, don't we have a meeting tomorrow?
2 o'clock.